Okay, in this video, we're gonna look at Cat's Eyes, Manon and Daniela. People have asked me to look into them, I think because they used to be quite close, and then people noticed that they weren't quite as close, and of course Manon is still on hiatus, we still don't know what's going on there, and so we're just gonna look at what their connection is. With that being said, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go. Okay, this is Daniela, the star. Oop. This is Manon, the High Priestess in the reverse position, and the energy in between is the Wheel of Fortune. That's a lot of major arcana, a lot of blue. Daniela got the star in the upright, which is like vulnerability. It's also like literally like celebrity, being a star, being elevated or raised in some way. It's usually like a good feeling card. Manon got the High Priestess in the reverse position, which is like not being on your higher path, not being in touch with your higher self. It's also a lack of intuition for some reason. Not necessarily the most positive card. Wheel of Fortune, that's like bad luck. That's like misfortune. That's like things not moving forward or things not moving. Not a favorable like inner card, you know what I mean? Daniela got the Chariot in the reverse position, which is like a lack of movement, a lack of progress. And it's still major arcana though. Manon got the Two of Wands, which is facing the center card. What's this card facing? Away and towards us. Oh. And the Page of Cups in the middle. Oh, you know what's going on? Low key. This is sort of like, I'm where you were. That's how it feels. You know why? Because like these two cards look kind of similar. Just literally like visually how they look. They're both facing forward, but they're both in the reverse. And then you have like the white and the black there and the white and the black there. There's something about, especially because Daniela got the star, which is like, I'm the big star now. Or at least she was for a time. I think she was being pushed pretty heavily, right? Like she had a solo with Yeonjun from TXT, or not a solo, but she had like a collab with Yeonjun, and she's the only one that's done something like that thus far. It feels like really complicated to explain, but it's almost like you're where I was, and I don't know like how to warn you about that, but not really, like the warning part isn't there. But this would be old energy, mind you. This is old energy. I think this has to do with maybe why they fell out or weren't talking as much, because it's not like, okay, I don't want to paint either of these people in like a bad light, but this isn't necessarily like Manon is benevolent, but it's more like I tried to tell you and you didn't listen. But it's not like I'm trying to warn you and it's sort of like, please no. It's more just like, this is what's going to happen to you, but not quite as articulate as that. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm like not explaining well. Okay, so this was the first card, right, on Daniela's side, which is the star. And to me, this makes me believe this is like celebrity in some way, which is literally like Daniela being raised up or leveled up. I really don't know in Cat's Eye currently who's like the most front facing or the girl they're pushing the most. Maybe they're kind of easing off of that. But I believe this was intentional on the company's part for a time to like really kind of push Daniela to like the forefront. I think right before she started getting like a ton of hate, like people were really feeling her and loving her, and she was in a lot of stuff or had a lot of opportunities. Anyway, but like it's strange because like this is where she was, and this is where we're heading, which is the Chariot, and this is where Manon started in the reading, and like the cards are so similar. And there's something about like Manon was the one that was being pushed first, and then like either she saw like stuff that she didn't like, or maybe like the inequality, or maybe something about like she had to do something that she didn't want to do. There's something about that, and she was like almost like trying to tell Daniela, but not in like a good way, or like not in a well articulated way, and it almost came off like jealous. That's a good, and also like a lot of information in such little cards, which I need like a shit ton of cards, don't I? Anyway, but there's something about like Daniela is now hitting the wall that Manon hit earlier on. Almost, but also it's like, I will also say that Daniela got further along in whatever they were trying to push her in than Manon did. And I think because Manon like dug her heels in or didn't want to or refused to, there's something about like they had to pivot to Daniela because they were trying to do it to Manon, which isn't like bad, but it's sort of like, we're going to give you all these opportunities. And it's not even like, but you have to like sell your soul in the process, but there's something about like, it's like too high of a bar to meet, or it's like unfair in some way. There's something about that. It's strange. Anyway, but like, the Wheel of Fortune is also really interesting in this conversation, because the Wheel of Fortune is sort of like fortune not turning in your favor, almost like all that glitters is not gold, especially because like the star is like shining. It's like all that glitters is not gold. So it's like they tried to do it to Manon for one reason didn't like comply or whatever, so they pivoted to Daniela, and this would be all before Manon left the group. In the first like year, I guess, I don't know. Anyway, and so Daniela did it for a time, and then like things backfired, or she like couldn't get to the bar. I really don't know what would have fallen out, but it would have been something like with the company. The company had to pivot or like change direction. I can't tell you what that is. That's like super fuzzy. But like Mana was like watching this happen. You know, in a different reading, I don't know which one it is. I've done so many now. But there was something about like, I did it, and like when I did like all of the member polls, and there was something about like, I said something like Daniela now understands what game is being played. If you've seen my other videos, you might remember me saying that, but I barely remember. It's so fuzzy. But I think that's what this is somewhat alluding to or pertaining to, where she's like, I see what game we're playing now. Because this is sort of like the chariot's no longer moving forward. So it's like the star, it's like you're elevating, and then the chariot is sort of like there's a stop to it. Which is sort of like they're not like pushing her as strongly as they once were, and it's something to do with like they're like, oh, you're not cut out for it, or it's not working, something like that. But I think it would also be kind of a sense of insecurity, like someone is promising you a lot and then it's like you make a mistake, so you're like, oh, like did I fuck all this up? And it's like, no, I think it's a lot more complicated, and I think they kind of don't know what the fuck they want, you know what I mean? But it's sort of like, it's like you're taking it personally, and it's like a business move. Page of Cups in the middle, that's like young, youthful, creative energy. Mana got the... Oh, but this is like energy, communication. Oh, wisdom as well, because of the world. I tried to tell you. I think that's maybe why they somewhat fell out. I don't know. I do sense a falling out between them. Like a distinct moment, or like a distinct era or time and space. So it wasn't just like they drifted away. It was like there was a distinct falling out where it's sort of like we don't really like to be around each other or near each other. It doesn't feel like a big fight though. It just seems sort of like, I don't know, like we don't see eye to eye on this thing, and it's becoming bigger, if that makes sense. At least so far. Daniela got the Fool. Played me for a fool. Absolutely. That's naive. Yes, I swear to God, something like this happened where like Mana was trying to tell Daniela something that she had just gone through, and Daniela was like, no, like you're jealous, or like no. But to be fair, I don't feel like Mana said it in the most like helpful way. Anyway, this is the six of wands again, 5 of wands again, which is like organization, not wanting to fight anymore. Oh, I feel like Mana checked out. I really don't know if it was obvious or not, but there's something about Mana checked out much sooner, like mentally checked out much sooner than when she took a hiatus or effectively left the group. We don't know yet, do we? But there's something about she like checked out, almost like there was a lot of fighting in the group generally and with the company generally, and Mana was just sort of like, I don't know. And then I think a big blow up. I keep saying this, but I feel like there was something Mana was like forced into some sort of a fight that like everything kind of came out and she took a hiatus. I don't think she was trying to like, I think she was trying to voice herself as like clearly as she could, just generally how like she was like discontent with maybe how the group was running or like things behind the scenes, something along that lines. But she was almost like dragged into a fight or forced into a fight with somebody else, and that like created the hiatus. And it was sort of like, you know what, well, I gotta bounce for a second, because this is sort of like avoiding a fight or like trying to make things run clearly. But it seemed like there was actually a lot of fighting around Mana, like between the members and like the members and the company. Like there was just a lot of like discontent and disagreement and stuff like that. And like I feel like Mana was kind of low-key trying to stay out of it. It seemed like she was just mentally checked out. She was like, this is like, it's like when you don't like your job and like everyone is like still like trying to give it a good fight, and you're like, I just gotta show up for my paycheck. That's kind of what she was doing right before she left. I think she was trying to advocate, and it just like wasn't going anywhere. People weren't listening to her. The Fool again is like Daniela. Oh, wait a minute. I actually kind of want more info. The Knight of Wands. Yeah, it's like I don't know if Daniela has a lot of people genuinely like in her corner wanting the best for her. There's something about that, like, yeah, it's almost like Daniela, she's young, obviously. She's like what, like 20, 22, 21? Still quite young. There's something about like she doesn't have a lot of wisdom. I don't think Daniela is dumb, but I would say she's not someone that has a lot of wisdom. She is someone that like you kind of either need to like sit her down and like really firmly like confirm like, okay, you know, like the risks and whatever, or she kind of has to learn through experience. But there's something that like she doesn't really have a lot of people watching over her to really like, you're okay though, right? Like I don't know, it seems like, I mean, it seems like low-key, I don't know a ton about her parents, but I'm getting the impression that they're kind of stage parents. She also was like a little dancer for like a long time, right? There's something about that. But there's something about like people are not like super like locked into Daniela's well-being as much as they should be. I don't know if she has the strongest awareness too of like her own inner world. It's almost like until things get really bad does she clock that like, oh, I need help, and it's like a little bit too late by then. There's something about that because this is like fool, it's like naivety, and also kind of like she really wants to be like famous or big or like not in a conceited way either. Just sort of like she just really enjoys performing and being in public and like in front of people. She's like one of those types of people, you know, that like thrives off of attention, but not necessarily in a conceited way. She likes to perform. The Knight of Wands, though, sort of like burnout or like passion being squashed or something like that, like your fire being extinguished. But I don't know by who, but there's something about like it doesn't have to be like someone purposely extinguishing your fire, but it's interesting. Like their cards are really like not that like locked in or like about one another. It's just like their own narratives like in parallel with each other. But I keep interrupting myself. This could be like burn out yourself, like you're burning yourself out because you're not like taking care of yourself enough. But again, it's like she doesn't have enough like guidance. Mana got the Justice card in the reverse position, which is a lack of justice. I swear something happened. Like it doesn't just seem like Mana was like, fuck you guys, I'm leaving. It doesn't seem like Mana was 100% in the wrong. It seems like there was like an injustice that happened to her or around her. I swear, it just feels like she got dragged into something. It wasn't like she was trying to start something and it created a hiatus. I wouldn't say this doesn't really feel that strongly related to Daniela though. If anything, it's almost like Mana is sort of like a couple steps ahead of Daniela, and it's like you're gonna follow in my footsteps. But like Mana's footsteps are kind of like trouble, you know? It's sort of like if you're paying attention, like you should like do something before you end up like me, kind of. It's strange. I don't know. Anyway, Two of Swords in the reverse position. Having more information. It's two too. It's like two on your side, two on my side. Having more information to make a better decision. There's a moon right there and a moon right there. I don't know. There's something kind of weird and eerie about this reading, but it's also like so imprecise. It's like everything is whispering. It's like, it's almost like we want to tell you, but we don't want you to know. We don't want you to know that it comes from us, but it's literally like the energy. It's so strange. And there's something just like weirdly eerie about this reading that I've never encountered before. I literally don't know how to explain this. But it's like the cards are like whispering. It's like, but like it's strange. Because usually things are just like conversational, you know? I don't know. Anyway. Daniela got the Strength card, which is empowerment. That's a good sign. What did she just get? I see. I want to know what happens after that card, though. Mana got the 8 of... that can be, like, bad news coming. It also could be the slowing down of information, so it's sort of like we won't know anything for a while. For one reason or another, though, this is reading kind of like either we're going to find out information about the situation as it pertains to Mana, or information is, like, going to leak about Mana that's a little bit negative, and it's going to, like, bother her in some way or slow things down for her in some way. I can't tell. It seems like it's coming up for some reason. Whatever it is, it won't be like super favorable. But I can't tell if it's like per the group or just per personally Mana. The 8 of Swords in the middle. Both of these are interesting because both of them are like blind and they're both in the reverse position. It's a lot of like, I get this, you get this, I get that, you get that, but leading with Mana. And it's sort of like, I will say it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of like tension or animosity between them. You know, because the Mana and Megan reading, that one was a doozy. I was like, there's a lot going on here. It's weird with Daniela and Mana. It's like they're just walking in parallel, but Mana's like a couple steps ahead. And it seems like they had a riff, but it doesn't seem like a massive fight at all. Interestingly enough, it seems like they're like actually pretty compatible in certain ways. I think they actually do butt heads on certain things, but like it's strange. Like they'd be good like party friends, you know what I mean? Like good like hang out, gal pal type of friends. It doesn't seem like they have the deepest conversations or connections. It's strange. They're not talking now. It doesn't seem like it. Also doesn't like their energy doesn't feel close either. That's the other thing. It's not like, or even like we were once close, and it kind of an emotional way. It's just sort of like they're just like standing next to each other. That's like how the closeness feels, but it's not like we're like heart to heart, if that makes sense. But anyway, like these two cards are really interesting because they're similar, but it's like the reverse, blinded, and this is being bound up. But this is literally like the releasing of that though, almost like you're untangling yourself from like a mental burden or something like that. Daniela got the Strength, and I kind of want to know. Oh, fruits of my labor? Oh, wait a minute. Let me take an audit of what happened here. Daniela might be pushed again, or she might get an opportunity again. I'm not really sure, but this is Strength. Oh, maybe when she gets a bit stronger, maybe? Or when her public favorability improves? I'm not sure. because this is like assessment. It feels like somebody is assessing her for something. It could be another opportunity or another solo, or to be pushed in some way, or to do something or elevate something. It's not like guaranteed, but it's like they're assessing her for something. It's like, are you healthy enough or fit enough, or like, do people like you enough for like this to work out? They're gonna try it. I would be wary if I was Daniela, but I don't know if she has enough agency to say no. It's also like, if this is your career and what you want to do, it's like you have to take risks, but there's something just like, I mean, it's sort of like you're operating under Hybex Gavin, and they're just like kind of like, I don't fuck with how they're running things. Even from a business standpoint, it's sort of like there's not a good strategy. I mean, what do I know? But like, it just seems like there's not a good strategy business wise, but like health wise, or like mental health wise, or emotionally, it's like, I want to know what happens after this card, though. Anyway, Manat got the King of Swords in the reverse position. Oh, she pissed someone off. Someone's mad at her, a powerful man. You know what? I don't know if it 100% is a man, but she pissed someone off, someone powerful. It seems like it's in a work or business context. I guess it could be in a private context as well, but it seems work or business related. This also seems like somebody who is like speaking negatively on her behalf, or speaking negatively about her as well, or like misrepresenting her in some way in like a business sense. Anyway, and the Six of Cups in the reverse position. Oh, like, I wanted to give you something, you weren't listening. This is about Manat to Daniela. This is like the older one. Manat's older than Daniela, right? And it's sort of like, I'm trying to give you something or impart wisdom, and you're not taking it. And again, it's back to that thing where it's like Manat didn't say it in the best way, and Daniela didn't want to hear it. But it's like, if they had had a good conversation, I think it could have prevented some grief, specifically for Daniela. It's almost like Manat was like, I went through what you went through, and if you would listen to me, you would have avoided it, and she didn't. I don't know, I really believe Hybex Geffen was trying to push Daniela much more, and it's like something happened behind the scenes, but also I don't think the fact that like fans kind of fell out of favor with her helped all that much. I don't know why they're trying to push her. Maybe they're trying to have a Beyonce situation in Cat's Eye? I don't know, where it's like they're a group for a while, and then when Cat's Eye falls off, they like launch a bit, kind of like, or not even necessarily a Beyonce, but kind of like a One Direction, but almost like they're trying to find a Harry Styles, but they facilitate it rather than Harry going off on his own. There's something strange about that. I don't know if they're going to actually get that out of Cat's Eye. I feel like they've pivoted their plan, like it's not going to work. Maybe, I don't know. Because it seems like they have stuff brewing for when Cat's Eye disbands or stops doing what they're doing. And I don't know why, but there's something like they're preparing for that. They're like, we're trying to launch like the... I would also say, I think in Western music, soloists do much better than in K-pop, where soloists are kind of relegated to, like, you know, the basement a lot of the time. Anyway, let's see. The Hanged Man in the reverse position on Daniela's side, which is like the need for a new perspective, like a new strategy or whatever, going back to the drawing board strength. I want clarification. That's going in a really interesting direction. They're gonna keep hitting walls with her. They're trying to do something with her. I really can't tell you what it is. I don't know if it's actually elevating to a soloist or just like trying to get her to do like a thing to the side or something, but it's like things just keep not working out. I don't think they're supposed to, but they're trying to like get her to do something. I really believe that. Or like fit into something or some type of mold or like do a different demographic. I don't know, but it keeps not working out. It's like they're gonna keep hitting roadblocks, internal or external, or with like Daniela herself, where it's like she doesn't have the capability, not like in a negative way, like she literally might just be too like injured to do this thing, but it's literally like this is like a lack of control. It can also indicate poor health. This is like the Knight of Swords, so it's like we're trying to like move forward, and this is like hitting a wall, like we're tied upside down, we need to pivot again. And this is like, but it's like consideration. It's sort of like we see your natural talent, your strengths in one way or another, and it's like, how are we gonna utilize them, but almost kind of capitalize them, you know what I mean? Like, how are we gonna capitalize on this thing that you have? And I would say Daniela's very talented. She's obviously very beautiful. I think she has a nice personality personally, but there's something about like they're gonna keep hitting walls with her. Is that where we ended? Yes. Okay. And then wait, this was clarification. Me just all over the place. We ended here. Okay. Manal got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position. Why'd she get that one? And then the Judgment Awakening. The Queen of Pentacles can be good because it's like taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. It can be nurturing something as well, but it seems more like personal to Manal. But I wonder why we got that. It's a good card to get, ultimately. Hermit. The World, lack of completion. She's taking care of herself. I think she's resting. I think she's kind of been forced to by somebody. Not forced, that's a heavy word. but almost like she's gotten a lot of encouragement. I actually think she's been maybe like stressed out by being on hiatus, or maybe what people are saying, I don't know, because I see her like pacing in her room, like, not, I mean, like, she might be, but like as like a metaphor, it's like she's like running herself ragged or doing a lot of stuff or like stressed out too much, and it's sort of like someone, like, I can't see who does this, but like someone puts their hand on her shoulder and like forces her to sit down, and it's like, stop, which, I don't know, maybe indicates like she's been really stressed or like ill or something, because this is like kind of like having to take care of myself, and the hermit is almost like this forced having to take care of myself, and this is like something incomplete. So I swear to God, like, they're still doing something with her hiatus. I don't know if it's a contract, I don't know if they're like planning something, but they're still in limbo, which, I mean, literally that's probably stressful, because it's like what if Manon's on a hiatus, right, but she's still in the contract? It's like, how is she gonna work if, like, you know, because like Danielle from New Jeans like got in trouble. I predicted that, by the way. I was like, she's working, and I'm like, I don't know if she's supposed to, and look where we are now. So there's something about Manon being in limbo, and she's like, I don't know what to do. That must be stressful. Anyway, but this is like, something's not complete, we're still not certain what's going on. Judgment is like awakening. Oh wait, these were clarification cards. Oh, you know, this is actually kind of nice. It's like I don't know if they're gonna talk, but I feel like they're both gonna have a realization around the same time about one another. But I think I don't really sense beef between them. I sense they're both really preoccupied with their own thing, and like, to be honest, if I were to like if I were to tell you what their relationship was like, it was very kiki. It was very like school friends, and you guys sit in the back and like joke and eat hot Cheetos, but it's not that deep. That's kind of what their relationship dynamic was giving. Not to say that they didn't have deep moments, I'm sure they did, but like, at least in comparison to like Megan's energy, or like most pair energies that I do, like, their energy is just very like, they're walking in parallel, and it's like they're kind of in their own worlds. There's not a lot of like converging of energy between them, but they will realize something about one another soon enough. It might be not just between them, but between all the members. Okay, final thoughts about Daniela and Manon. Anything we should know? 3. That's like not collaborating, not working with somebody else. Manon is the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse position, which is also not working at something, not beating on your craft. The Temperance is balance. That's strange. Wait, I'm gonna ask something. Okay. Well, I don't know actually what to do now. I'm gonna ask something, and I'll tell you after what I asked. I don't know why I'm being weird about this suddenly. Okay, wait. Oh my God. Wait, this is weird. Okay. I don't know why I was being weird and coy about this, but I asked in my head, I was like, is Daniela gonna like leave the group or also take a hiatus? And the reason I say that is because this in the upright is like working together, collaboration. In the reverse, and especially it's like literally work, not just like hanging out, not just friends, like actual like work and collaboration. And the reverse would be like going off on your own, doing something solo, or just not wanting to work in a group, or being able to work in a group. And we got the Lovers in the reverse, which is like the separation of two things. Like Lovers is like unionship, coming together, and the reverse, it's separation. But it doesn't seem like a hiatus necessarily. She might have to take a break for maybe health reasons. I'm not sure. It might not even be announced, because I think that might look like bad PR, but it's almost like just Daniela's gonna miss a couple of things coming up. I don't know, but it might be something more than that. I'm not sure why. I don't know why this would come at the end either. Wait, I want one more clarification card, because that could mean, it could actually be in her personal life. It might not have to do with the group. That's such a strange card to get. And the other reason I say this is because, again, like parallel, but like not necessarily talking about the same thing. Where this is Pentacles, and it's like no longer working part of a group. And this is like not being able to beat on your craft, which is like being a K-pop idol or a singer, or what, Manon had been working on for the last like however long they were in like that training academy, Temperance is also balance, which is sort of like I see what you see now, like sharing of emotions, sharing of experiences, which is in the center, which makes me think like since Manon's on a hiatus, like is Danielle gonna go on hiatus? That would suck, wouldn't it? Anyway, I want clarification on Daniela's card, just to know if that's actually what we're talking about. Oh my God, because this is walking away from something, like sneaking away almost, and like Swords is communication. She might. It seems kind of up in the air, and it also seems kind of more, it's on Daniela's shoulders more than anything. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like I am quitting, maybe, but it seems almost more like it's due to like health reasons perhaps, or like I couldn't tell you. It doesn't feel like a sure thing either. It feels like this might happen, but it kind of depends on a couple of other things that go on. But I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me based on that energy if she took a break. I don't think she'd leave the group permanently unless something happened to the group. At least not right now. But I don't know if it would be as long of a hiatus as Mana. It would be like, you know, kind of how we're like with Seraphim and like currently, I mean, if you're watching this in real time, like Chaewon is on hiatus. I think 'cause she hurt her neck or something like that. So like they're doing promotions without her. It could be something kind of like that with Daniela. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I don't know why I'm fixated on it being a health issue. It could be a mental health issue as well, but I don't know. Whatever it is, it doesn't have the similar flavor to why Mana is on hiatus. And then one for Mana. Opportunity, luck. I just feel like things are gonna go, like, they still genuinely, because this is like illusion, this is like mystery, it's like it could go one way or another. I don't know what the hell could be going on behind the scenes, but they still have not found, there's not like a clear determination with Mana. I don't even know if 100% it's like she's in the group or she's not in the group, but more like what are we gonna do with Mana and how are we gonna like tell the fans that she's not in the group. I don't know what it is, but like there's so much. Like, I don't know if Mana 100% knows. I don't know if the company 100% has made any determinations. And I don't think the members are clear in the... I think they're kind of in the dark in some ways as well, too. I think... I don't know if they will talk. But I feel like they will have a better understanding about one another. Like, they're going to gain a level of respect or understanding with one another. Specifically, I would say Daniela to Mana. Almost like Daniela's going to be like, oh, you tried to warn me. If she hasn't already kind of clocked that. I swear to God, there's something Mana was trying to tell her that, like, just didn't land. Well, that was actually, like, a weirdly surprising... I don't know, I just thought there would be more, like, sisterhood... falling apart, like friendship, emotion. It's very just like we kiki sometimes. We're co-workers, like I like you. We had a bit of a falling out, but it's whatever. It's it's really not that emotional at all. It's just like, well, here we are. I'm surprised. Okay, well, with both of the galleys' luck, like hella, like I mean, cat's eyes. It seems like they're going through it. With peace and love.